it's very humbling too when you start to realize that free will does not mean you can establish the curriculum. You can't establish the curriculum. The curriculum is already set, and that's forgiveness. And then he goes one more step. Only the time you take it is voluntary. And then that means the more you desire the holy instant, the more you draw the holy instant into your awareness. But he does say in the Manual for Teachers that not only can't you determine the curriculum, it's already preset, but you can't even decide the form of the curriculum. The curriculum is not yours to decide, and neither is the form. And so when people say, I'm going to do a composite thing, and I'm going to take a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and build my own spirituality, like it's a Lego game or something, and you can just keep sticking a pin in here and building this. No, that's actually not how it works either, because the one that's deciding and trying to play the pick and choose game is the one that's caught in the trap, and the one that can't find the way out. So what does Jesus say? He says, you cannot wake yourself. You cannot wake yourself. But you can allow yourself to be awakened. You see, again, the humbleness. Again, I will step back and let him lead the way. Not because it's good or right, but because it's the only way that will work. It's the Holy Spirit is the only way that, and we're not talking about a specific tradition or culture or even specific words, but we'll just use Holy Spirit for the moment. But the Holy Spirit is the pathway, and that's why that inner guidance that you feel, which is highly individualized, is so important. You have to come into a resonance with that inner guidance, because that will set you free. That will take you back to true freedom. And there is no human aspect. Jesus says it may even be personally insulting to the ego to realize how little your contribution is to the truth. And he's talking about in terms of the human construct, the human mind. That construct was made to defend against the truth of the Christ mind. So that's why it's so little the contribution there. And yet, to accept your part in mind, to accept the atonement in mind is so essential that your part is absolutely essential, that the whole plan depends on that. It depends on the mind recognizing its wholeness, and the entire plan is anchored in that.